Hey there everybody. Okay, so this is the very last video that I'm going to make for this class. Sorry about the really long video the last time, but I wanted to give y'all a bunch of examples, and I know it was a long one. I don't like to make them that long, but I hope that all those examples helped out. All right, so now we're in objective 2, solve rational equations for a specific variable. Okay, so occasionally they'll give you a formula and they'll say, hey, distance over time equals rate, and I want you to solve for time. So that means they want the t to be all by itself on one side of the equal sign and everything else to be on the other. And so how you would do that, especially if you're solving for something that's in the denominator, is you want to multiply by that denominator to get it out of the denominator. So we would multiply the whole thing by t in this case. So multiply it there and there. So let's see here. We've got the t's would cancel here, and I'm just left with d. And then whenever I multiply t times r, I get tr. And then if I want the t all by itself, notice it's multiplying the r, I would divide by r. So those go away, and I'm left with t is equal to distance over rate. That is it for this problem. All right, again, same thing goes here. The thing that we're solving for is y. They want us to solve for y, but it's in the denominator. Okay, so I'm just rewriting the problem so that I have more space to work. And I would multiply by the denominator. So y minus 3. And I would multiply it times this. So I've got m times y minus 3. And whenever I multiply it times this, the y minus 3's cancel, and I'm left with x minus 2. So now I would distribute. So my minus 3m is equal to x minus 2. And so to get this y by itself, I would add 3m to both sides. So I get my is equal to x minus 2 plus 3m. Now, if I'm solving for y, I want to divide by m here. And I could just leave it like that. So those m's go away. Y is equal to x minus 2 plus 3m over m. And I can leave it like that. That's a good answer. And we have the y all by itself. Okay, so for this problem, we are solving for a, but it would be so much easier to get rid of the fractions altogether. So let's multiply by the LCD, which is AB, and see what happens. All right, so I'm just rewriting the problem. So we're going to multiply by AB. So whenever I multiply it times that, the a's cancel, and I'm left with b times 1, which is b. I'm going to multiply ab times this, and I get that my b's cancel, and I'm left with a times 1, which is just a. And whenever I multiply ab times c, I get abc. All right, so now I want to get the a all by itself. So I would get my, notice that you have you have an A there and you also have an A there. So what I would do is I would get my A's on the same side of the equal sign and leave my B alone. So subtract A, subtract A. So I get B is equal to A, B, C minus A. Now, factor out your A. And whenever I factor out my a, I'm left with bc minus 1. Now, to get the a by itself, I would divide by bc minus 1. So that cancels that. So I'm left with a is equal to b over bc minus 1. there we go. We have just solved for A. What good this will do you? There are some uses for it. In future math classes, right now it's hard to see the usefulness of this lesson. But I think more than anything, we're just trying to introduce you to problem solving. So figuring out what you need to do to get where. All right, so that is it for this class, actually. It's been great working with you, and I hope I helped you out.